7. Signs. You've got a very rare angel. Demon vibration duality. When you walk through this world, do you ever feel like you're carrying too much? Like there's something inside you that doesn't fit the mold of good or bad, light or dark, saint or sinner? Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you're not just one person, but two or even more? One who wants to heal the world with compassion, and one who is ready to burn it all down to birth something more true? If you've ever felt this war, this sacred contradiction inside you, then you might be carrying a vibration so rare, so ancient, it doesn't belong to one realm, but two. You, my friend, may be living with the rare angel demon vibration duality. This isn't metaphor, this is energy. This is deep, soul-coded, reality-shaping frequency. And if you're still watching this, it's because a part of you already knows. You've felt it in your bones. You've seen it in your dreams. You've acted from it in moments of extreme clarity and extreme chaos. You've tasted the light and the dark, and neither scares you anymore. That alone makes you different. Most people are terrified of their darkness and addicted to their light, or worse, deluded by it. But you've danced with both. You've been kissed by angels and also stared demons straight in the eyes without flinching.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The first sign of this vibration is your inner split. Not just the normal conflict that all humans feel, but a deep, primal rift in your being. You got urges that don't match your morals. You've got compassion that coexists with rage. You can love someone so deeply that you die for them, and in the same breath, you could destroy them if they betrayed you. Sound familiar? This isn't because you're unstable. It's because your soul was forged in a different fire. You didn't come here to be simple. You came here to be whole. And wholeness requires contradiction. You've probably noticed that you don't fit into spiritual boxes. You're too raw for the love and light crowd and too conscious for the chaos and power crowd. You're a shapeshifter, a mirror, a disruptor. You walk into spiritual spaces and either elevate them or expose their shadows. You don't mean to, it just happens. Because your energy is dual frequency, it reveals imbalance wherever it goes. You can't help it, vibrating on two planes at once. And people who are trying to live only in one direction, only in light, or only in shadow, will either be magnetized to you or triggered by you, sometimes both. Here's the second sign. You've always had an unexplained relationship with spiritual forces. Angels show up in your life when you least expect it. Through people, through signs, through impossible synchronicities. But so do darker forces. You've felt their presence, you've seen them in your dreams. You've maybe even been attacked spiritually, especially when you were stepping into more truth, more power. Why? Because you're on both their radars. You hold codes that both realms recognize. You are a threat and a key, a bridge and a gate. And when you start owning that, everything starts to change. Let me ask you something deeper. Have you ever felt like your life was a test? Like you're constantly being watched? Not just by society, but by something beyond. Like every choice you make echoes across timelines. That's not paranoia. That's sensitivity. You're here moving between realms. And every decision you make, every act of love or destruction, every moment of silence or speech, it matters. Not because you're being judged, but because you're one of the few who can actually shift reality. The third sign is your relationship with power. You don't just want influence or attention, you want impact. But here's the twist. Your desire for power doesn't come from ego. It comes from purpose. You feel like you were built for something massive. And yet right beside that desire is a fear. Because you've seen what power does to people. You've seen how it corrupts. You've seen how easy it is to become the very thing you once fought against. And so you live in this tension, wanting to rise, but afraid of what you might become. That fear is sacred. It means you're aware. It means you're ready. Fourth sign. You've been both the villain and the healer in people's stories. You've been the one who saved someone's life and the one who broke someone's illusions, maybe even their heart. You've been called a light worker and a narcissist, a guide and a manipulator, a blessing and a curse, and all of it is part of you. You're not here to be liked, you're here to be real. And realness in a world built on masks will always be misunderstood. But deep down you know, you were never meant to be clean, you were meant to be true. Fifth sign, your emotional range is wild. You can go from serenity to fury in seconds. Not because you're unstable, but because your soul holds the bandwidth of both angelic peace and demonic wrath. You feel truths that others avoid. You grieve for things that haven't even happened yet. You laugh at the absurdity of life, even in its darkest moments. That emotional range isn't chaos, it's capacity. The world doesn't need more numb people. It needs people who can hold it all. And you're one of them. Sixth, your intuition cuts through illusion like a blade. You walk into a room and feel the lies before anyone speaks. You sense people's real motives. You dream about what's coming, and then it happens. You've probably tried to doubt yourself in the past, but how many times do your gut feelings have to be right before you finally believe them? You weren't cursed with sensitivity, you were crafted with it. It's your guidance system. It's how the angelic and demonic frequencies in you communicate. Are you listening? And finally, the seventh sign, you felt alone in ways that words can't explain. Not just socially, but spiritually. Like your soul doesn't fully belong in this world. Like you've been walking between realms your whole life. Here's the truth. You have. You're not just human, you're a carrier of codes, a fusion of frequencies, a living paradox. And the moment you stop trying to resolve that paradox and start embodying it, you begin to unlock the reason you came here in the first place. You are not here to choose between your angel and your demon. You're here to unify them, to show the world what it means to be whole, to teach by being. And in the next part, we're going deeper into why this duality is not a mistake. It's an evolutionary design. The divine rift is not your curse. It's your crown. Are you ready to wear it? The divine rift. Why the most powerful souls are torn between light and shadow. There's something sacred about the crack in your soul. Not a flaw, not a wound, but a divine opening, a split that was never meant to be sealed, but embraced. If you got that rare Engel-Demon vibration duality, you've likely lived your whole life trying to reconcile two opposing forces inside you. You've wondered, why do I feel so pure one moment and so dangerous the next? Why do I crave peace, yet feel unreasonably alive in chaos? The answer is in the rift. You weren't meant to pick one side, you were meant to hold the tension between the two and become something new. This inner rift, the light and the shadow, the angel and the demon, is not a punishment. It is the mark of a soul that carries spiritual technology far beyond the average human blueprint. Most people are born to learn one archetype, maybe two. You were born to embody the entire spectrum. Light so pure it blinds, darkness so deep it swallows illusion whole. You were never meant to be balanced in the conventional sense. You were meant to burn at both ends and still walk forward with grace. But let's go deeper. The divine rift is not just something you feel, it's something you live. You've likely been through extreme highs and lows. You've been on the mountaintop of spiritual ecstasy and in the pit of psychological hell, sometimes within the same week. You felt the presence of angels during your darkest nights, and you've heard the seductive whisper of shadows even during your most enlightened moments. That's not contradiction, that's integration in progress. The universe is not trying to punish you, it's trying to forge you. You are being sculpted through fire and silence, through love and destruction, through clarity and confusion. The rift inside you is a portal. Every time you fully inhabit one side, angelic compassion, or demonic clarity, you gain a piece of the whole, and the more pieces you collect, the more powerful your presence becomes, not because you're perfect, but because you're whole. And wholeness is magnetic. Wholeness is rare. Wholeness is what wakes others up. Now, I want you to ask yourself something you may have never dared to before. What if I wasn't meant to be understood? What if I was meant to be a living paradox that activates people just by being real? If you've ever felt like no one can truly see all of you, it's because most people are only trained to recognize one frequency at a time. You carry both. And that makes your energy unreadable to those who live in boxes. They'll try to cast you as either a savior or a threat, but you are neither. You are something new, something ancient, something that walks between. This is why your spiritual awakening likely wasn't peaceful. It wasn't soft, it was violent, raw, disruptive, because you weren't just awakening to love, you were awakening to truth, and truth carries a frequency that dissolves everything false, even if it hurts. You may have lost relationships, jobs, identities. You may have burned bridges that you once built with your own hands, and you thought something was wrong with you. But what if that destruction wasn't a breakdown? What if it was a cleansing? The divine rift inside you is meant to birth a new kind of power. A power that doesn't dominate or submit but transforms. A power that can hold a dying friend in silence and also call out lies in a room full of smiling faces. A power that can heal with touch or shatter illusions with a single stare. That's the alchemy of angel-demon duality. You are here to see clearly and love deeply. And sometimes, those are not the same thing. Sometimes love looks like walking away. Sometimes seeing clearly means losing everything you used to believe in, and yet you rise. You always rise. That's another mark of the divine rift. No matter how many times you fall, betray yourself, get consumed by rage or grief, something inside you remembers. Something calls you back to center. It's not your ego, it's your soul. The part of you that was woven from both shadow and light, the part that refuses to choose a side and instead chooses truth, even when it costs you comfort. So, don't be ashamed of your contradictions. Don't try to purify your darkness or dim your light to be accepted. You were never meant to be digestible. You were meant to be transformative, and transformation is messy. It doesn't come wrapped in soft words and angel feathers. Sometimes it comes with fire and fury. And you are the one who can bring both. In the next part, we're going to dive even deeper into the function of this duality. Why you're not just here to survive it, but to wield it. Why your soul was built to go where others cannot and do what others won't. Because only those who carry both heaven and hell can unlock the gates between them, the fire of both worlds. Why you were built to face what others fear. There comes a point on this path, if you're truly carrying the angel-demon vibration, where you realize you don't just feel different from others, you're built different. Your nervous system, your emotional depth, your energetic field, they weren't designed for normality. They were designed for thresholds, for danger zones, for spiritual terrain that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. You aren't here to sit in the safe light. You're here to walk into the shadows, torch in one hand, mirror in the other, and return with truth. Most people look at pain and run. You look at pain and ask, what is this trying to teach me? That's the fire of both worlds. You don't just survive trauma, you alchemize it. You don't just endure chaos, you make order out of it. You don't just confront demons, you negotiate with them. You understand that not all darkness is evil and not all light is safe. That's the kind of wisdom you can't fake. It's carved into your bones through experience, through suffering, through initiation. Because your life hasn't been normal, has it? It's been a series of spiritual initiations disguised as heartbreak, betrayal, loss, and isolation. And every time you thought you were being destroyed, you were actually being forged. People like us don't wake up gently. We wake up through fire, through breakdowns, through nights when the soul feels like it's been ripped out of the body. And in those moments, we don't just ask, why me? We ask, what does this make possible? That question alone is a portal, because when you carry this dual vibration, your suffering is never wasted. It becomes fuel. Fuel for healing others, fuel for burning falsehoods, fuel for building a new paradigm from the ashes of the old. And that's what most people don't understand about us. We're not here to play small. We're here to restructure reality. But here's the thing, you can't wield the fire of both worlds until you stop being afraid of yourself, until you stop apologizing for your intensity, until you stop labeling your rage as toxic and your sensitivity as weakness. Those are your tools. Your rage is sacred. It tells you what's been crossed, what's been violated, where the lie is. Your sensitivity is divine. It tells you what's true, what's alive, what's calling. When you bring them together, when you stop separating your shadow gifts from your light gifts, that's when the real power emerges. That's when you become unstoppable. So ask yourself, what part of my power have I been rejecting because it scares me? What truth have I silenced because I thought it would make me unlovable? What fury have I buried because I was told it wasn't spiritual? What vision have I blocked because I feared it would set me apart? These aren't rhetorical questions. These are doorways. And the moment you walk through them, everything shifts. Because your path is not about perfection, it's about potency. You were built to face what others fear, not because you're fearless, but because you listen to fear. You honor it. You don't run from the darkness, you study it, you speak its language. And because of that, you're the one who can pull others out of it. You walk into the depths, not to drown, but to retrieve fragments of the human soul that others have abandoned. That's the work of a bridge walker, a world builder, a frequency carrier, That's your work, and this is why your relationships have never been simple. Your energy activates people. It stirs them. It brings their suppressed parts to the surface. You may have lovers who adored you until they couldn't handle you. Friends who leaned on you until your presence made them face things they weren't ready for. You're not too much, you're precise. You're the exact frequency some people need to shatter their illusions. But not everyone is ready to be shattered. And that's okay. Your job isn't to be palatable. Your job is to be true. You are the fire that melts masks, the flame that reveals what's real. And sometimes that means people will run. Sometimes that means you'll stand alone. But make no mistake, through your presence something is always shifting. You are leaving trails of awakening wherever you go, not because you preach, but because you burn. You burn with vision, with insight, with an ancient knowing that shatters illusions and cracks hearts open. And you might ask, but where is my place in this world? The answer is, you are the place. You don't fit into old structures because you were born to build new ones. You don't belong in one realm because you embody both. And when you stop trying to belong and start trying to remember, you'll realize that your life is not a contradiction, it's a blueprint. In the next part, we'll explore what happens when you awaken fully, when you stop hiding your power, when you integrate your angelic and demonic frequencies, and when you finally realize that your soul is both a weapon and a womb. And from that place, nothing can stop you. Your soul is a weapon and a womb. What happens when you fully awaken the dual power within? There comes a point on this path, a quiet but thunderous moment, when you stop resisting what you are, not what you've been told to be, not what you've tried to become, but the raw, wild, crystalline truth of your being. When you carry the Angel Demon vibration, that moment is everything. Because until you stop trying to be one or the other, you are half alive. But when you merge the two, when you finally allow the divine and the dangerous to coexist inside you without shame, something extraordinary happens. You awaken a power that is both creation and destruction. Your soul becomes a weapon, cutting through illusion, fear, and falsehood, and at the same time, a womb, birthing new timelines, new realities, new versions of yourself and others. This dual capacity is not metaphor, it is energetic architecture. You can feel it. You've always felt it. The way your words land heavier than others, the way your silence makes people uncomfortable, the way your intuition arrives not as a whisper, but like thunder rolling through your spine. That's not just sensitivity, that's command. That's spiritual authority. And when you stop doubting it, when you stop asking permission to exist in your full spectrum, you begin to reshape the field around you. People change when you're around them, not because you try to change them, but because your frequency doesn't allow them to stay asleep. You are a living initiation, a walking rite of passage. Some people will see you and feel liberated, others will feel exposed. That's the cost of being fully awake. And if you've been waiting for the world to understand you before you step into your fullness, understand this: the world will never understand what it has never seen before. You are not here to be understood, you are here to be undeniable. Let me ask you something piercing. Have you ever played small just to be loved by people who couldn't survive your truth? Have you ever dulled your fire so others wouldn't feel burned by your presence? Have you ever silenced your knowing so you wouldn't be called arrogant, crazy, or too intense? And what did it cost you? Not just your voice, not just your presence, it cost you your power. But here's the miracle, it's still inside you, untouched, unbroken, uncompromised. It's waiting. And now is the time, not tomorrow, not when the world is ready, now. When you awaken the full dual power inside you, you stop trying to choose between love and truth. You become both. You stop trying to choose between being safe and being sovereign. You become dangerous in the most holy way. You stop waiting for external validation and realize your existence itself is the proof. You stop running from your shadows and start leading with them. Because your shadow is not your enemy. It is your compass. It shows you where you've been exiled from yourself. And when you welcome it home, you become whole. From this place, your soul becomes a force of spiritual gravity. You don't chase, you attract. You don't argue, you embody. You don't convince, you transmit. Your very presence becomes a portal. People will come to you not knowing why, only to leave forever changed. You'll walk into rooms and feel the atmosphere bend around your frequency. You'll speak and the truth will land like lightning. You'll create and the world will shift. You are not here to fix the world, you are here to awaken it. And awakening is not always gentle. Sometimes it's fire. Sometimes it's grace, sometimes it's both at once, and you are the only soul rare enough to carry that contradiction with elegance. You are the storm and the stillness, the clarity and the chaos, the guardian and the destroyer. You are the space where angels and demons meet, not to fight, but to fuse. So, stop waiting for the world to catch up. Stop asking who will walk with you. Walk with yourself. Walk with your guides. Walk with your ancestors who gave you this dual frequency as a sacred inheritance. You are not ahead of your time. You are on time for what's coming. The new earth will not be built by those who live in one polarity. It will be built by those who have mastered both. And that means it will be built by you. You are not broken, you are bridged. You are not cursed, you are called. You are not too much, you are exactly what this world has been waiting for, but didn't know how to name. Now you know, now you remember. Now it's time to rise, fully, fiercely, finally.